No answers. Vassell.
On the pick and roll at halftime.
Largest lead has been 18. It's
The Lakers just made the biggest gamble in franchise history. They traded Anthony Davis to Dallas and brought back Luka Dončić, the best offensive player on the planet. 35 points a night, 9 assists, 9 rebounds. The guy who can drop a 45-point triple-double while looking like he just woke up from a nap. But here's what nobody's talking about. They also traded for a championship-killing flaw that JJ Redick can't coach out, that no amount of roster construction can hide, and that guarantees this team will not win a ring.
Castle forcing the action, gets around Doncic.
Luka's defense isn't a slump. It's not a scheme issue. It's not something that gets fixed with a few extra film sessions. This is an unfixable problem rooted in effort, stamina, and personal choice. And the proof is already showing up in the film, in JJ Redick's public callouts, and in the Lakers' defensive rating that's sitting at 116.9 with Luka on the floor. This isn't about whether Luka can play defense. It's about whether a player this offensively dominant will ever choose to. Let's start with what the film actually shows, because the clips don't lie. Watch Luka's defensive stance on any given possession. His base is way too wide, feet planted like he's waiting for a bus. No positive shin angle, no ability to push off and slide laterally. When Julius Randle hits him with a basic shimmy jab at the elbow, Luka's feet don't even move. Randle creates a full step of separation without breaking a sweat, pulls up for the mid-range, and it's cash. That's not elite offense beating elite defense. That's a fundamental breakdown in footwork that any rotation player would contain. But it gets worse. When Luka does attempt to move, his hips open up immediately. One crossover from Anthony Edwards, and Luka's already turned sideways, watching Ant blow by him for an easy layup. There's no recovery, no second effort, just hands on hips and a look at his teammates like, where's my help? The complaining is its own category of disaster. Multiple possessions where he argues a call with the ref and doesn't sprint back, leaving the Lakers in a 5-on-4 fast break. This happened in the NBA Finals. It's happening now. One sequence against the Spurs, he's still jawing at the official while Devin Vassell gets a wide-open corner three because Luka never rotated back. That's not a basketball IQ issue. That's a choice. Then there's the transition defense. Instead of contesting, Luka goes for the charge. He flops. He ends up on the ground while the opponent gets an open look from 3. One play, he's still lying on the floor when Dante DiVincenzo catches and shoots from the corner. The ball goes in. Luka's teammates have to play 4-on-5 because he decided a flop attempt was worth more than actual resistance.
Here's the thing that proves this is all effort. There's film of Luka locking up Julius Randle in the post. He uses his body well, slides his feet, stays in front. Randle can't get anywhere. It's textbook defense, which means Luka can do it when he decides to. Every other lazy possession is a choice. The weak side rotations are a ghost story. When he's on the help side, he rarely moves. Opponents drive middle and Luka just watches, doesn't cheat out to the shooter, doesn't step up to help, just stands there and throws his hands up after the bucket goes in. His teammates have to cover 2 gaps because Luka won't leave his man even when help is clearly needed. And opponents know it. They run pick-and-roll actions specifically to get Luka switched on to their best scorers. The Lakers have to send immediate hard traps because they know he can't contain anyone one-on-one. Not Ant, not Tatum, not even guys like Keldon Johnson on basic drives. The moment Luka gets isolated, the entire defense has to scramble. The real problem isn't just the points Luka gives up. It's what his defense forces the entire Lakers system to become. JJ Redick is a defense-first coach. He built his reputation on effort, rotations, and accountability. He's publicly called out the team's lack of resistance and urgency, and specifically demanded more from star players. This isn't some vague motivational speech. Redick is telling you exactly what the problem is. The Lakers rank 22nd to 25th in defensive rating. That's 117.1 to 117.8 points allowed per 100 possessions. With Luka on the floor specifically, it's 116.9, worse than the team average. His presence actively hurts the defense. This isn't a coincidence. This is the data telling you what the film already showed. Because Luka can't guard isolation matchups, the Lakers have to send hard traps every time he gets switched onto elite scorers. Watch what happens when Anthony Edwards gets Luka on a switch. The Lakers immediately send a second defender. That puts the other 4 defenders into constant scramble mode. Now you're rotating, and eventually someone's wide open from 3. Minnesota missed a lot of those looks, but in a playoff series, those shots go in. This forces the Lakers into impossible roster construction decisions. To hide Luka, they had to prioritize defensive specialists. Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, DeAndre Ayton.
These are the guys who have to cover for him. But here's the trade-off. You can't add another elite scorer because you need bodies to patch the defensive gaps Luka creates. The Lakers sacrificed offensive firepower to build a system that compensates for one player's refusal to compete on that end.
Think about the who guards who nightmare in crunch time. In a normal defensive scheme, your best player guards their best player when the game is on the line. But Luka has to be hidden on the worst offensive player on the floor. That means LeBron James, at 40 years old, has to take the toughest matchup. Or Austin Reeves has to guard someone 2 weight classes above him. This isn't a sustainable championship formula. The transition defense gap is even worse. The Lakers allow 24.5 fast break points per game. That's 16th in the league. Not catastrophic, but not good. And the reason is obvious. Luka often doesn't sprint back after missed shots or turnovers. He's either complaining to the refs or conserving energy for the next offensive possession. That leaves the Lakers in constant 4-on-5 situations. One extra defender back is the difference between a contested layup and a wide-open 3. Compare this to Oklahoma City's blueprint. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has similar offensive usage to Luka. His usage rate is around 32%. Luka's is 37%. Not a huge gap. But Shai plays in a system with Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, and Chet Holmgren protecting him. He can gamble in passing lanes because he has rim protection behind him. He can take risks because his teammates are elite defenders who can recover. Luka has Austin Reeves as his last line of defense. No disrespect to Reeves, but when Luka goes for a steal and misses, the opponent is dunking on Reeves at the rim. That's not a defensive system. That's a prayer. So why is this flaw unfixable? Because it's not a skill issue. It's a stamina and choice issue that no amount of coaching can solve. Luka averages 38.0 minutes per game. His usage rate is around 37%. That means he has the ball in his hands on over a third of possessions. He's orchestrating the offense, creating shots for teammates, and dropping 35 points a night. That level of offensive responsibility leaves nothing in the tank for defense. This is the trade-off every superstar makes. Can a player be this offensively dominant and still play elite defense? History says no. Even LeBron James stopped locking up in his 30s. He became a free safety, gambling for steals instead of sitting down on ball. That's not laziness, that's biology. The human body can only sustain so much two-way excellence over 40 minutes a night for 82 games plus playoffs. Look at the NBA Finals. Luka fouled out with 4:12 remaining after getting repeatedly hunted by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. His exhaustion was visible. The Celtics targeted him possession after possession because they knew he had nothing left. That's the result of carrying an entire offense for 38 minutes a game. By the fourth quarter, he's running on fumes. The conditioning question has followed Luka for years. He's been criticized about his body fat percentage and his off-season preparation. He's in better shape now than he was in Dallas, but he's still not built to sustain two-way excellence for an entire season. This isn't about effort in isolation. It's about capacity. Luka himself admitted after a recent loss. That's on us, especially me. I need to step it up. This is year 7. The pattern hasn't changed. That tells you it's not about awareness. It's about what's physically possible when you're asked to be the entire offense. The championship odds don't lie. Despite adding Luka to LeBron, the Lakers' title odds are only plus 2,500 to plus 3,000. That's a 3.4 to 3.6% chance. The odds makers see the same flaw we do. They know this roster construction can't win in the West. Not against Oklahoma City with their 5 elite defenders. Not against San Antonio with Wembanyama protecting the rim. Not against Houston with their switching scheme and young legs. The Lakers made a calculated bet. Trade for the best offensive player alive and hope you can scheme around his defense. But you can't scheme around a player who won't sprint back in transition, who gets blown by on basic drives, and who forces your entire defense into constant rotation breakdowns. JJ Redick can call all the meetings he wants. This is an unfixable flaw rooted in stamina, usage, and personal choice. The Lakers will score 120 points a night and still lose in the second round because their defense will give up 125. Drop a comment if you think I'm wrong. I'll pin the best counterargument. Subscribe for more takes nobody else will give you.